Imagine an aircraft so fast, so advanced, so radically ahead of its era that even the future wasn't ready for it. In the late 1950s, at the height of the Cold War, when the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a technological arms race stretching from the ocean depths to the edge of space, American engineers set out to build something extraordinary. They wanted a bomber that could fly higher than 70,000 feet, cruise at 3 times the speed of sound, outrun enemy interceptors, and deliver nuclear payloads anywhere on Earth within hours. What they created was the XB-70 Valkyrie, a machine that looked less like an airplane and more like a spacecraft launched into the wrong century. To understand the XB-70, you have to step into 1957. The Soviet Union had just launched Sputnik, and the shock was immediate. Americans suddenly felt vulnerable. The idea that Soviet missiles could strike U.S. cities created urgency bordering on panic. Speed became survival. Altitude became security. The U.S. Air Force believed that if a bomber could fly high enough and fast enough, no defense system could touch it. That belief sparked one of the most ambitious aviation programs in history. North American aviation took on the challenge. The goal was staggering: build a bomber capable of sustained Mach 3 flight, over 2,000 miles per hour, while carrying a massive nuclear payload across intercontinental distances. Engineers faced problems barely explored. At Mach 3, air friction heats an aircraft's skin beyond 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Aluminum would weaken. Steel would be too heavy. The solution was advanced stainless steel honeycomb structures and titanium components, forming a sleek white airframe designed to reflect heat. The Valkyrie's shape was unlike anything before it. Its long needle-like nose cut through the sky with precision. Massive delta wings stretched wide and sharp. At high speed, the wingtips folded downward to increase stability and enhance compression lift, where shockwaves beneath the aircraft helped support its weight. Even decades later, it still looks futuristic, elegant, and almost alien. When the first XB-70 rolled out in 1964, it seemed like science fiction made real. 6 General Electric YJ-93 engines roared beneath its fuselage. Pilots wore pressure suits similar to astronauts, because at 70,000 feet the sky darkens and the curvature of the Earth becomes visible. This wasn't just high altitude. It was near space. And then it flew. The XB-70 reached Mach 3. It climbed into the stratosphere and proved sustained supersonic cruise at extreme altitude was possible. For a brief moment, it seemed the future of strategic bombing had arrived. The Valkyrie could theoretically outrun interceptors and penetrate enemy airspace before defenses reacted. But history shifted. As the XB-70 advanced, intercontinental ballistic missiles rose to dominance. ICBMs could deliver warheads across continents in minutes, without risking pilots. They were faster than any bomber. At the same time, Soviet surface-to-air missile systems improved rapidly. The 1960 downing of AU-2 spy plane proved that high altitude was no longer untouchable. The assumptions that justified the Valkyrie began to fade. Costs escalated. The original vision of a full fleet was reduced, then reduced again. Eventually, the program shifted from strategic bomber to research platform. Only 2 prototypes were built. Yet the XB-70 became a flying laboratory. NASA and the Air Force used it to study shockwaves, structural heating, sonic booms, and advanced controls. Data from the Valkyrie influenced future aircraft and even space research. It became less a weapon and more a bridge between eras. Then tragedy struck. On June 8, 1966, during a formation photo shoot, an F-104 starfighter drifted too close and collided with the second XB-70. The smaller jet struck the Valkyrie's wing. The bomber rolled violently. One pilot ejected. The other did not survive. The aircraft broke apart and fell to the desert floor. The footage remains haunting, a futuristic machine spiraling from the sky. The crash deepened doubts. The remaining prototype continued research flights until 1969, but the dream of an operational Mach 3 bomber was over. The Valkyrie's time had passed before it truly began. And yet, decades later, the XB-70 still captivates. It represents ambition pushed to the extreme. It embodies an era when engineers were encouraged to think beyond limits, when geopolitical fear fueled technological leaps, and when aviation blurred into astronautics. Today, the surviving XB-70 rests at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. Visitors often pause in disbelief. It doesn't look like something built in the 1960s. It looks like it belongs to tomorrow. The Valkyrie wasn't obsolete because it failed. It was overtaken by a world that changed direction. Missiles replaced bombers.